Hey guys, good morning. Just want to give a message today. One of my raw videos, and I haven't posted for a while, and I'll tell you why. Let me close my window because it's really loud. But I just been going through a really cool part of my life. You know, like my life is better than ever. It's amazing. The quality of friends that I have now is just second to none. You know, like I appreciate all my friends. It's a small circle. I keep it small. I keep it tight, and very important to take care of your friends, your relationships, because it's all about relationships. A lot of the things that I'm going to say right now is all has to do with relationships. And when you get quality relationships and you take care of them, you don't burn your bridges, they're going to introduce you to their relationships. So it's just going to be powerful relationship after another, and you're going to become part of them. And I remember in the beginning it wasn't like that though, because in the beginning, you know, I was trying to get known so that I could get these relationships. And that's a big reason why I started Driven. I started Driven not because I wanted to be a public speaker, not because I wanted to speak on stage and because of my ego. It wasn't because of that. I understood really early that in order to win in business right now in today's world, you got to be a celebrity. You know, you got to be a celebrity. Yeah, are there exceptions where, you know, there's, you know, billionaires in their 60s? Yeah, there is. There are. But remember that those people, they grew up in a different era. They didn't grow up right now, or else they would be young. They started their whole thing in the 80s, in the 70s, in the 60s, you know? So those people didn't have the technology, they didn't have social media like we do today. And now it's a different era. So I realized that I needed to become a celebrity so that I could flow power to my businesses. And I started doing that. You know, I started, had the first Driven, almost went out of business. Second Driven, almost went out of business again. And it wasn't until the third Driven that I broke even. And then, you know, Driven 4, Driven 5, it's history. You know, we've made it. And just incredible. And it's so funny because I was thinking about this, and I was offered 50 grand to speak, and I didn't take it because it doesn't motivate me anymore. Like 50 grand doesn't motivate me to speak. It doesn't. You know, I want to speak for free with good people. That's what I want to do, because I want to give and I want to help people. And it's not about money, because I make so much money and doing what I do, focusing on my core business, focusing on the companies that we've built, you know, from scratch. And so now you start valuing your time, and it's incredible how you go from being somebody that was a nobody to becoming somebody successful, you know, famous at a young age. And I'll go back to this story, and I'll end it with this. I grew up watching Oscar de la Hoya fight. I used to be I'm still a huge fan of his, and he was my idol, and he still is. But I used to watch him fight. And I remember I was with my dad, and we would be watching him, and I used to, my first idol was Julio Cesar Chavez. And I used to love Julio Cesar Chavez, and then he fought De La Hoya. Because I was rooting for Chavez and for De La Hoya. But then, you know, De La Hoya was in the Olympics, and I was watching his fights. I watched his first fights, and I used to like De La Hoya, and I used to like Chavez, both. But Chavez was more, you know, he was already experienced, a champion already, and De La Hoya was coming up. And I remember one time they fought, De La Hoya versus Chavez, and I'm like, fuck, and I'm going for Chavez. I remember De La Hoya beat him, and then I was kind of mad. I was like, man, De La Hoya beat my idol. And then from there on, I started just following De La Hoya and watching all his boxing fights. And you know, I watched all his fights. I used to get really nervous when he was going to fight, during the fight, and then I enjoyed the fights. I remember one time I wanted to watch the Oscar de la Hoya versus Trinidad fight, Tito Trinidad versus De La Hoya, and we didn't get that fight. And I remember I was mad at my dad. I'm like, Dad, come on, how come we didn't get it? But it was back then, you know, we weren't rich, and we were like lower middle class, and the value of $80 or whatever it was for that pay-per-view fight, Trinidad versus De La Hoya, that was like some money that could be used for food, for groceries, and for other things that were more of a necessity for us. And I remember that I was really pissed off. So me and my dad, we couldn't watch the fight, so we heard the fight on the radio. So I remember I was hearing the fight on the radio, And I remember that every round was like, Oscar De La Hoya is dominating, Oscar De La Hoya is dominating, Oscar De La Hoya is dominating. And he was winning every round. And I remember that the radio guy, the one that was narrating the fight, he's like, well, this fight was clearly won by De La Hoya. This fight was clearly won by De La Hoya, and everybody knew that De La Hoya was the winner. After 12 rounds, I think everybody was pretty sure that Oscar maybe lost 1 or 2 rounds. He won all the other rounds, dominated the fight. And then I remember they announced the winner is Trinidad, and I'm like, what the fuck happened? You know, like nobody could believe it. Even the radio host was in shock. Everybody was in shock, and I remember just the next day everybody was still in shock. Oscar clearly won that fight. It was a robbery, and they just gave it to Trinidad. So it was just, I remember that day like if it was yesterday. And my point is, I was a huge fan, and a few days ago, you know, I finally got to spend some time with Oscar. He's from 1973, I'm from 1983. And it was just me there with my idol. You know, I'm there with my idol. And just give me a second. Let me park here and put some gas in. So I'm there with my idol in his living room. And I tell Syl, like, am I having a dream? Am I having a dream? Is this really happening? Am I having a dream, or am I really here with Oscar? All right, guys, just real life, and I'm just trying to make these videos as I'm driving, but yeah, so going back to the story, so I'm there, and Oscar had invited me to a fight, to some fights that he was promoting, and I went there, but I couldn't really talk to him because he was promoting the fight and going up and down the ring. So I remember that I'm there, and I try to get close to him, and everybody's hounding him, and it's just not a good time to talk to him. And guys, I'm doing this real time, so I get all these distractions going on. But remember that you have to always be prepared for distractions. Things are always, you get the weirdest things that distract you, or that don't go the way you want them. So I'm there, and I couldn't really talk to him that time. So after 2 years of following up, you guys might be asking, like, how'd you meet Oscar? Well, I met him through social media, through Instagram. I sent him a DM. And then I sent him another one, and after like 10 DMs that I send him, and I kept following up, he answers me. And he tells me something like, hey, I'm really proud of you, you're killing it, you have an inspiring story, brother. And I'm like, oh shit, he answered me. And then I tell him, hey, follow me back. So then he follows me back. And then I remember, it's a funny story, but I remember then I don't know, for some reason he unfollows me. And then he follows me back again after I keep following up. I'm like, hey, what happened? Hey, I keep following up. And then finally, after 2 years, guys, because we went to see him at the fights, and then those fights I couldn't really talk to him. So I said, you know what? And then we were supposed to meet a week later, and then we didn't meet. And then after 2 years, I'm finally like, you know what? I'm just gonna, after the fight, you know, I don't really talk to him, and he kind of disappears, and the meeting that we had, we don't have it. And then I say to myself, you know what? I'm just gonna stop trying. I was close to stopping, and one of my things is never quit. Always keep following up, never quit. So I was about to just stop. You know, like, I don't know if that's quitting, but I was about to just stop following up with him, because I'm like, man, it's been 2 years. So then out of nowhere, like a day later, or that same day, I don't remember if it was a day later or that same day, he sends me a message, and he tells me, hey, Albert, come see me train. I'm gonna have a training here in my house, and it's gonna be, you know, limited people and intimate, and bring a +1. You know, it's an intimate if you want, or just come alone. So then I tell Syl, hey, you want to go? And I was kind of already, you know, kind of giving up, kind of discouraged, because I'm like, man, I just been trying to get a hold of him for 2 years. So finally, long story short, we end up there, and he's training, and you know, there's like, it's like a group of 7 people, 8 people at the most, and another of the people that showed up is another celebrity. He's like a big time celebrity. You guys see him on hotels all the time. You guys see him at magazines, and you know, he's on famous shows. He had a really famous show a long time ago. So he's there, and I'm there with Syl. And it's funny because I wasn't supposed to talk to Oscar, because he was gonna be there training, and I was gonna talk to him I was gonna get there 30 minutes early, and I was just gonna talk to him for 30 minutes, and he was gonna be busy training. the whole time. I spent like 2 hours there. He was training and he was just talking to me the whole time. And then he tells me, hey, you want to go have dinner? So we go and we stop by his penthouse he has in Pasadena, and we're just waiting there in his living room. And maybe you see this, Oscar. maybe you see this video, but I told you, I told you in person, but I didn't tell you this part. I'm like there laying in his living room and waiting for him because he's taking a quick shower because he was training. We're gonna go have some dinner, and I'm there with Syl, and for like a minute I just paused and I'm like, are we really here in Oscar's living room while he's showering? Like we just kind of met like real in real time in person, and I'm like, am I having a dream? And then we end up at dinner. We're there till like midnight, having a great time and talking. So we go have dinner, and I'm gonna tell you something, guys, really quick. I know this video has gone longer than expected, but I'm there having dinner with them. All right, guys, so finishing up this video. So I'm there in the restaurant, right? We're having some dinner at Mi Piachi's in Pasadena, and we're there till midnight. And the whole time, the whole experience I was with Oscar, like I ask him questions, and he is completely honest. He's one of the most humble, nice people I've met. And just like me, and just like Oscar, and just like many of you watching this, there's a lot of people that are toxic, a lot of people that are envious, haters, and those people talk shit about people. And I know a lot of people talk shit about Oscar, a lot of people talk shit about me, and a lot of those people are people that used to work for us, or people that are just haters that watch us from the outside, and then they leave, things don't work out, and then they talk shit about people that took care of them, people that their prior bosses that did nothing but good things to them, helped them out when things were tough, and now they leave, they're grumpy, or they're people from the outside just watching, and they're envious. They're envious, and they're gonna say bad things. They're gonna say bad things in the news. They're gonna say bad things on social media through fake accounts, and that's gonna happen. So I can tell you that just spending some time with him, he was like the most nicest, humble, honest guys. I asked him things that were personal, and a lot of personal things, and he would just give me the straight answer. All of that, it's between me and him. I'm not here to say anything about personal stuff, but he answered me everything like super personal, super honest, with a lot of honesty. So a lot of people, you're gonna hear bad things about, like me, like him, and like other people, and maybe you're watching this, and watch the source of your advice. I can't repeat how important it is to watch the source of your advice. When you have people in your ears talking shit about somebody that's great, that's nice, that does nothing but help people, don't pay attention to them. Get them out of your circle and get rid of those people. They're toxic, and sometimes they don't even know they're toxic. They don't even know they're envious. They don't even know they're haters. It's just the way they are, and you gotta find that out and get rid of them right away, fast. Stop spending time with them. Like I don't spend time with those people anymore. I don't have minutes or seconds to think about those people. So you got to get rid of those people ASAP and watch the source of your advice. If I tell you something like, hey, look, you got do X, Y, and Z, go and do X, Y, and Z. If this person tells you do X, Y, and Z, don't listen to them. Get rid of them. Those people are toxic. So watch the source of your advice. And to close out, guys, look, when you're coming up, you got to do everything necessary to get known, to get into the right circle. Don't burn your bridges. Don't burn your bridges, because then people are gonna ban you from their circle. Do the right things, listen to the right people, and always do what's right. Always do it. Always put people first. Try to help people. Focus on helping people, and then money's gonna come. And one day, you're gonna make it. You're gonna make it so big that people are gonna offer you 50 grand, 100,000 for an hour to go speak. And then one day you're gonna turn it down because it's not gonna be worth your time, or it's not gonna be for the right cause, and you're just not gonna need 50 grand, 100 grand. It's not gonna motivate you anymore, because you can make that in one day. You can make that. Some people make that in less than one day. So things are gonna change, and then people are gonna want to become your friends. People that are really, really high level, important, billionaires, 100 millionaires, whatever, they're gonna want to be your friends for free. You're not gonna need anything from them, and they're not gonna need anything from you. And you're gonna create a powerful circle, and you're gonna protect it. And then one day, you're gonna control who you allow in your circle. you're gonna kick people out of your circle, and then you're gonna introduce people in your circle to your friends and good people. So having said that, guys, I am just really grateful, and I just wanted to take this moment to just thank everybody and just share a little bit of nuggets that have helped me a lot, and hopefully those nuggets, you guys can take them and learn from them and apply it to your life and be really successful. I'm really excited, guys, for Driven 5 that's coming up. Driven 5, you know, it's gonna be the dream lineup. I just finished finalizing 2 more speakers that I'm gonna add, and then that's gonna be done. You guys saw that Andy Frisell is gonna be in there, Ed Milet, and many more. And I just added 2 more speakers that I'm gonna announce. One of them is a billionaire woman. She's a billionaire woman. I'm gonna announce her in the next maybe couple of hours, or if not tomorrow. And then another guy, I'm so pumped up about this guy. You know, I'm so pumped up about this guy, and we're about to announce these people. If you guys haven't gotten your tickets and you need a deal, maybe you're a little bit low on funds, you want me to hook you up, let me know. Send me a DM or click a yes right here. Love you guys.